Infinite ammo.
Hello everyone, welcome to the IAS mini podcast on our experiences with Clover Studios, a fantastic company which, much like the story of Icarus, kind of died out because of a certain thing that happened to him. We'll talk about that a little later and start to introduce ourselves. I'm Bane for you, why you? And gonna work our way down. Inferno, if you may.
What up? Name's Inferno, and yeah, my profile picture is protagonist from Persona 5. Get used to it.
Okay, and the only other person we have here today is JoJo.
How y'all doing? Your old buddy, Mr. JoJo here, and yes, I am a JoJo reference. Thank you for having me on. I'm glad to be on here.
And
Clover's awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're also gonna have a drill bit in a bit. Oh God, did you see what I did there? He'll be here soon. That was fucking fun. I'm so sorry. But we're gonna get into the questions here. So, what is overall your first experience? Like, what was the first experience you guys had being introduced to the content of Clover Studios? I'll start with this one. I got Beautiful Joe on the GameCube. I think week of release. I didn't know who the hell made it. I was like, this game looks fucking awesome. So I went to my local Kmart and picked it up. Which dates this story like nobody's fucking business. But what about you guys?
I'll let you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Inferno.
Just wanted to be like, yeah, no, I'm gonna. It's like in freaking college or something when no one jumps into the question. But anyway, my first experience was actually during the Wii era when Okami's port to there was a thing. When we're like, oh my god, we can use motion control. We can use motion controls on the brush. This is so cute.
That was a great port, actually.
Yeah, I know. Just like, the whole motion control BS craze that was back then. But that's how I got experience to that. And then it just became like a domino effect. It's just like, and then I hear the name Beautiful Joe again. I'm like, oh, they made that?
Yeah.
So just after Okami came into my life, it became a domino effect where suddenly it's like, oh, that was Clover. Oh, that was Clover. How many Clovers are there?
Oh, yeah. Their games were just mind-blowing.
Yeah, like many, Okami.
Oh, yeah. And, JoJo?
My first experience with Clover Studios was when I went over to my friend Nathan's house because he bought a copy of Suikoden 2 on his PS1, and I was super jealous. And he brought out his GameCube, and he showed me the games that he had, and he had Beautiful Joe. I played that for about 45 minutes. I would have played it longer if I was going to stay, and I had a lot of fun with it. And then then a couple years later, there's this game called God Hand that came out on the PS2. And ever since I discovered that game, it's, in my humble opinion, it's my favorite PS2 game ever. And this is coming from a guy who knows about the existence of Grand Theft Auto and stuff. What a lot of people say is the best one, but I think God Hand was probably the one game in that like everyone always thinks, Okami and Beautiful Joe. I think God Hand as soon as I hear Clover. Sometimes I think God Hand when I hear Platinum.
Yeah,
think about it.
It's weird. I actually thought Platinum made that until I started looking up for this podcast. I was like, oh, wait, what?
It sounds like the title they would use nowadays.
Oh, hell yes, it does.
And speaking of which, if you have a PS3, buy God Hand. You have no excuse. It's worth it. Worth the $10.
Or if you don't, emulate it, at the very least, just to play it.
Yeah.
It's emulatable on cell phones now. There's no excuse. Alright, so let's jump into the next topic here. What is your favorite game from Clover Studios lineup, and what's your least favorite game? Mind you, it's hard to pick a least favorite game, considering the big three are Beautiful Joe, actually big four, I should say. Beautiful Joe 1 and 2, Okami, and God Hand. I'm going to say favorite was Beautiful Joe. I've spent so much time playing that game that I've just been so, like, I don't know how to word it other than I've just put so much fucking time into it that I know it from the back of my hand. Least favorite would be Red Hot Rumble, if we're talking Beautiful Joe games, just in general. But out of all of them, Beautiful Joe Red Hot Rumble is not very good.
Wasn't that the one on the DS or something?
Yep. Actually, no, it was the one on PSP and GameCube. Which I had the PSP version. Ugh. Yeah, what about you guys? Inferno?
Because I've had the most experience with it by far, definitely Okami. But not just because of the experience with it, but it's also the visuals, the music, that great soundtrack. Did I mention the music already?
I'm probably gonna say visuals again, but yeah.
Oh, I thought that was the internet glitching for a second there.
I kind of did too, but I realized, like, no, wait, I think I was like, yeah, actually.
Hey guys, I'm a broken vinyl. Somebody stop him! And I may not have had much experience with Beautiful Joe as I probably should. I mean, granted, I'm a broke SOB, so that has something to do with it.
I can understand that.
But I will appreciate all the Kamen Rider references that damn thing makes. Because not enough people watch Tokusatsu, because damn it, Japan, stop withholding it.
Kamen Rider of a video game was Beautiful Joe. Yeah.
At least Americans got it.
Oh, yeah. What about you, JoJo?
Obviously, I'm gonna say my most favorite Clover Studios game is God Hand, simply because I think the character Dean is very funny and badass. The whole game is just a bunch of violent comedy. It's hilarious. In fact, I made a D&D character out of Gene once. It was really fun. My least favorite one, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's hard to pick a bad Clover game because they're all good in their own way. But I would probably say my least favorite one is probably like I said, I think it's a good game, but my least favorite's Okami, simply because I'm not really into the whole painting aspect. I mean, you do some cool stuff, but I'm more of like a fast-paced action gamer, and that's why I like God Hand so much, because you're just beating up on bad guys in cool and hilarious ways.
Yeah. I'm completely with you on that. All right, so what are your thoughts on Clover Studio dissolving as a company and ultimately members of it transferring and starting their own company, which was Platinum Games? What are your thoughts on how that decision kind of panned out when it comes to both their own creativity and Capcom's? I would say it made sense for them to leave and start their own company because Capcom... How do I word this? Capcom's very controlling. It's something I think we're going to be talking about later, but it made sense as creators to start their own thing, do something completely different. And I think it was smart for them creatively, but I think Capcom was very hurt by it, you know? What do you think, Inferno?
So wait, was it their decision to do so?
It was their decision to create Platinum, but I think Capcom nixed them.
Oh, Capcom. Even back in the day, you also make dumb decisions.
Yeah, Capcom did shut down Clover Studio in late 2006 after Atsushi Inaba, Hideki Kamiya, and Shinji Mikami left the company. So it was a bit of column A, a bit of column B.
Well, at least since they went on to form Platinum, they've been making like some pretty good stuff here and there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, sure, some of the games they've developed have been kind of a bit of a miss. But I would say that's more on the publisher part than anything else, because they kind of give all the money.
Yeah.
I mean, look. Yeah, I was about to say, Korra. Look. Like normally, a Korra game developed by Platinum sounds like a great idea on paper, But if you have the publisher breathing down their necks and all the money and all that BS, it's just like, well, look at that, corners are being cut.
All
Because
right.
I'm pretty sure if they had all the creative control, it'd just basically be Bayonetta but with Korra.
I wouldn't have minded that, actually.
It would have played better.
Yeah.
But good on Platinum for, like, being their own thing. Because at least when they have the control and they have the money and all that stuff, they make a game like both Bayonetta games where it's really fun to play. I mean, the plots could be better, but at the end of the day, it's a game, and being able to play it and play it well is what matters most by the end of it all.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and by the way, Metal Gear Rising is so freaking good. God damn it, Konami. Ugh.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we're going to be honest here, all the games they've made so far have been pretty solid, sans Core and the TMNT game. Like, Mad World, Bayonetta, Vanquish, Metal Gear Rising. I'd say personally, they've done pretty well as a company since then. But what do you think, JoJo?
Yeah, I agree. Like, I mean, yeah, it sucks that the guys who made those legendary IPs we all remember are in Capcom's hands now, and that thought scares me a little bit. Unless they're just going to make straight up HD ports of their old games, in which case, hell yeah.
They've just ported Konami, Jesus, Okami, fucking like 5 times already.
Yeah, Okami got like on the PS2 mainly, and then it got on the Wii.
There was GameCube, and then PS2. Actually, was it GameCube? Released on GameCube, right?
I don't think so.
Oh no, it was PS2. My bad.
Yeah, PS2, the Wii, the PS3, I think.
Yeah.
And I think PS4 got one too, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah, they all just got one recently. So Xbox One, PS4, PC. Yeah, so like it's getting to the point of Shadow of the Colossus being ported 4,000 times.
Yeah, I mean, if they just do that occasionally, like make the Clover, like make like a Clover collection for the new systems, I'd buy that. But them forming Platinum did end up getting us a lot of good games creatively, and they seem to do really well in action games, like the examples you named, Anarchy Reigns, Mad World. That was the one I was trying to think of. Mad World.
Mad World's one of the reasons I still have my Wii.
and of course Bayonetta. We can't forget the badassedness of Bayonetta, and of course, oh god, there was another one that keeps escaping my mind.
Vanquish.
No, Vanquish and Metal Gear. I keep forgetting Metal Gear Rising was done by them, and they do a lot of really good, like, I just noticed that they specialize a lot in like action, like fierce action games where you're going around like fighting a bunch of bad guys and stuff. That's why.
Oh yeah.
So like, I think
even Transformers Devastation was pretty good with that too.
Yeah, I know. I actually seen a little bit of that game. It looked really good.
They had it free on Games of Gold about a couple months ago, and it was fun to play through.
Oh, damn it! I didn't have a PS4 until then, until after that.
Yeah. All right. On to the next question here. Here's just a bit of what if scenario, right? What would you think have happened if Capcom decided to keep Clover around, kept the creators, in I'd say well-off conditions compared to what they were in before? I personally, I don't know if we would have gotten like a Clover rendition of a Resident Evil games or something, but I feel like their creativity would have probably been stifled. That makes sense?
I think so.
I don't see modern Capcom using them for anything other than like basically like a port or a like, hey, we need to fix something. This is a side developer that can fix a couple things in a game and then ship it out. I see them being used more as like a secondary studio instead of what they were before.
Kind of like what Sonic Team was to Sega back in the day.
Yeah. Where they bring in a whole bunch of games and they would say, hey, we need this part fixed. You're good at this. Just do this. Don't bitch, or we'll fire you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a shame to say. It's a shame to say, but I really do see that as sort of what would happen. What do you guys think, though? Start with Inferno.
What Bane said.
Okay,
well, that's pretty much true because it's modern Capcom, and everyone who knows modern Capcom knows that they're not exactly the brightest bulb in the shed.
Yeah, they decided to release Dead Rising 4 instead of killing everybody involved with it. Yeah.
They decided to release Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite in general.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. I think it's actually worse than Dead Rising 4.
Wow, shots fired.
Yeah.
Gonna need a med kit for that.
Oof. What do you think, JoJo?
Well, like, here's the thing. Like, if they would have stuck around, yeah, maybe we could have gotten, like, more sequels to all these beloved games, but I have a feeling that Capcom would do a lot of what they did back when they were doing Street Fighter Cross Tekken and stuff where they lock half of the content behind a DLC paywall, kind of like what a lot of game companies are doing.
Or Azura's Wrath.
Oh God, yes, I remember when Azura's Wrath did that. I refuse to play it.
You want half your game? Well, you may as well fucking pony up $30.
You want that ending?
What $30 for the ending? There you go.
I can't believe more people didn't get pissed at that.
Yeah, really. And like imagine if they would have done that with
Beautiful Joe or Tommy or God Hand.
Yeah, or say they do it in Beautiful and Okami, where they get like you can like get DLC brush strokes or something, where like for $5.99 you can like make a sword or something with your paintbrush or something like that.
The sad thing is, I really do see that happening.
Or worse, loot boxes.
Oh God! Imagine if they did God Hands like in God Hands you could set up your own moves and combos. Imagine if you got new moves through loot boxes.
Square Enix, I know Square Enix did that. We're gonna get off a little bit of a tangent here. Square Enix actually, I think they did something like that with Remember Me. It was like extra shit. The game's really pretty, but I think the combo system's the most annoying part of it. All right. You guys want to continue with the next question?
Go for it.
What are your thoughts on Platinum Games in its current state? Personally, I think they're doing just fine. I'm a little sad Scalebound got canceled, but I've had a theory about that regarding Platinum. I'll mention that right now. I think they took on a lot of work around 2012 to 2015, and a lot of that work was coming out around the time I think Microsoft wanted Scalebound, and them delaying it like twice didn't help. So I think I understand why that was canceled, because there was Legend of Korra, Transformers Devastation, Star Fox Zero, and Guard, and TMNT, and Nier, and I just was like, okay, I can understand why this one got canceled a little bit, you know? That's just a theory. I'm not going to make the joke about that YouTuber. I'll say this. I love Scalebound. Jesus. I love like the Bayonetta series and all that. And I think that partnering with Nintendo was really smart, considering Nintendo was willing to fund them and say, hey, we're going to allow you to make Bayonetta. Fuck it. This makes money for us. Especially considering Sega didn't want to do Bayonetta 2 at all. I'm glad they're in the state they are now.
It's not that they didn't, it's just that Sega at the time was having financial issues.
Financial issues, yeah. My bad. I would say this, I want to see them expand different brands. I mean, I love Bayonetta, it's a great series. I love Nier Automata, but I want to see them do more original IPs. But that's just me. What do you think, Inferno?
Oh, they're doing good. They're doing very good. Since you hear the name and you think, Platinum's making it.
Oh yeah,
That's a general consensus of a reaction whenever you mention the name Platinum Games.
Normally, you don't get that like, oh, they're making that game, or
No, you get
oh,
they're making it.
Yeah, you get actual genuine excitement.
Well, considering they got 2 Bayonettas, and well, that includes the ports too, since the ports have actually been very well made and faithful to their original sources.
And I mean, Vanquish has been amazing. It got ported to PC recently.
MGR, Nier Automata, as you already said.
Yes.
Oh, good God, Nier Automata has been just like, that shit blew up. Even Yoko Taro was surprised.
Although they need to fix that fucking PC port eventually. It's been almost a year.
Yeah, could they? That would just mean more money, and we all know how everyone feels about money.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. And then, what was it? Anarchy Reigns, like...
I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of it, but I liked it.
Well, let's just say across the grapevine, I hear this general opinion. Anarchy Reigns, and then you just hear explosions and like, sorry, what was that? I was having fun with Anarchy Reigns.
There were a lot of people that really loved that game. I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of it, but I was like, hey, it's fucking cool. It's nice to have this kind of shit, you know?
So the point is, Platinum Games ain't going nowhere anytime soon because they got that sweet Nintendo money.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I'd say this. I think Nintendo... It's the smartest thing they've done. It was the smartest thing they did during the Wii U era, at least. I'll say that. Because,
yeah,
you have a game franchise that, at that time, first game was amazing. Nobody knew what the fuck the sequel was going to be. And it sold Wii U's, and that's what they needed back then also.
It also made Bayonetta 2 happen in the first place.
That too.
The games they make, there's hit and miss. It's mostly hit, and I am looking forward to more of the work in the future because the Platinum Games brand is a very shiny one.
All right, Jojo, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think Platinum Games are doing good, and like you said about how Platinum Games are literally doing so well that people get excited about literally anything they make just by hearing that Platinum is the one making it. That was probably how the TMNT game sold really well before reviews actually got out of it.
Yeah,
because I heard that game was pretty bad.
It made me want to eat like cigarette butts. That makes any sense. I would prefer not to play that game or talk about it.
That's it. This game sucks. Give me the ashtray. Give me the ashtray and a spoon. Of course. Anyway, but yeah, I think they're doing really well. It's just gonna feel really awkward if they decide to make MGR2.
I mean, I can kind of understand that, but I think MGR was a lot more of its own thing.
Yeah, I know. It's just going to be sad to see, like, the once beloved franchise, doing this. It'll probably be a good game and all, but after what Konami went through, it'll be a tough pill to swallow.
I'm really hoping Konami tries to improve with Survive, because I want to say it like this. I like the game. I know we're getting off topic. I like the game. It's fun to play. I've been playing the beta the last couple days because it's on PC now. And I swear, I want to like it so much, but there's so many things. It's like, oh, it's annoying.
But yeah, summarize Platinum Games. I think they're doing really, really well, and don't they have a game that's coming out soon? I mean, I know Scalebound got canceled, but don't they have another game coming out soon?
There's one for PS4, and the title of it is it's a 4-lane pileup of a title. Grand Blue Fantasy Project Relink. Which that's a car crash of a title.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then the only other game currently confirmed in development is Bayonetta 3.
Oh, Bayonetta 3, nice.
Yep, that got announced around the same time as the Switch port.
Oh. But yeah, I think Platinum's doing very good. They're gonna be making tons. Are they now? Remind me when they do Bayonetta 3. Is it gonna be another Nintendo Switch only port, or is it gonna be on
yes,
everything?
Yes. No,
Oh.
Nintendo got the publishing rights for this one fully. So.
Oh wow, they're gonna make a lot of. Then yeah, Nintendo's gonna make a lot of money from that. Probably gonna sell more Switches.
It sold better on the Wii U than the original game did within its first 5 months. So I think Nintendo has a good thing going with Bayonetta, and until like a Bayonetta game fucks up on like Switch or something, then it's gonna stay there. All right, so we're gonna switch to the next question here. Considering that Capcom owns all of the Clover IPs, are you still excited for what they'll do with them, or have you been disappointed with the lack of representation from games of the Clover brand under Capcom? Here's the thing. I love Okami. I really do. It's been ported so many fucking times that I just want a Beautiful Joe port at this point. Fuck it. Give me Beautiful Joe. Give me God Hand. I love Okami, but it's on everything now. It's the same problem with Resident Evil 4, you know? It gets ported so many times, it's like, okay, I can play this on a speak and spell. Where's the next game in the series? I'm sad that we haven't seen a new Beautiful Joe game, because that's one you'd think the mechanics could fit really well and another developer could take it over. But they haven't done anything with it, and it's kind of disappointing me a little bit, you know? But I'll say this: I'm really disappointed there hasn't been anything, even another HD port of Beautiful Joe 1 and 2 on all the consoles or something. I don't get what's holding that up, but what do you guys think? We'll start with Inferno.
It's Capcom. Unless it's a port, they're not gonna do much, from what I keep gathering.
I know.
Like, yeah, Okami, got a Wii port, then I got him on a console port, and today, fantastic, that means more Okami and more money thrown at Okami. But that also means that y'all fuckers have kind of been ignoring the very loud, and I do mean very loud, Beautiful Joe people. Just give them the damn port, they'll throw money at you. You dunces.
Oh, definitely.
Like, for the love of God, if I were someone like Capcom, I'd be like, hey, boss, they wanted a Beautiful Joe. They will throw money. We like money. Don't you want money? Just give them what they want.
Just throw $1,000, like $100,000 at least a PC port or something.
Oh my God, PC port would be modded to oblivion.
Oh God, for porn mods.
Throw money.
What do you think, JoJo?
Well, I know that they own the IPs, but I like I said, I just wish that they would at least do more with them. Besides, I mean, don't get me wrong, having ports of some of these games is nice and all, but how about some, excuse me, some representation in their crossover games? Like, as much flack as I've given Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, if they made like a Clover DLC pack that had like Beautiful Joe, Jean, and Amaterasu playable, I would go out and buy the game right now. I'd be like, where are my keys? Where's that crap? And I'd be playing that all day.
I can't believe they haven't actually put, anything related to any of the Clover games in Infinite. I know. Like they're noticeably absent.
Yeah, and you got freaking Jean, who's literally a character who's a martial artist with the power of God going through his right arm. You'd think that he'd be perfect for a fighting game, since he does all these weird-ass martial arts moves that destroy opponents in funny and brutal ways. Like, remember the ball kick that he does? That would be fun to do in a Capcom game, in a Capcom fighting game.
That'd be pretty interesting. Let's see here. All right, so by the way, there's like, it's such a shame also, there's nothing regarding any of the Clover games in Infinite. Like, not even like references.
Yeah, at least MVC3, there was I think Beautiful Joe had a move called the God Hand.
Yeah, it's disappointing. So if there's any Clover IP you guys think that deserves a sequel, like Beautiful Joe, Kami, or God Hand, which one would it be and why? I'm going to admit my bias here. I want a Beautiful Joe sequel so bad, but I'd probably kill anybody who can Capcom once. So the second game ended on a cliffhanger that teased the third game, and it's been ever since like 2004, 2005, and I've been waiting for this fucking game, and I'm not getting any younger. So, what the fuck, Capcom? What do you guys think?
Give them all a sequel.
That's the easiest and best answer, actually. Jojo?
Oh, yeah, I believe you already know what I'm gonna say. Make a God Hand.
Yeah.
Yep, God Hand 2. Just make it to where like it's more of Gene going around beating up demons, and there's another big demon lord. Like, think of it like, make the plot kind of like, Fist of the North Star, only with funny stuff and demons, and just make it where he's going around kicking the crap out of all these demons. And it doesn't really have to be anything grand or anything, because it's just got to be fun. And that's a beautiful thing about Clover games is the story sometimes in a lot of them take a back seat to the action, but the action's more than worth it to make up for it.
Oh yeah. All right, so we're going to get into our next topic here. What do you think of the complaints from old members of the Clover Studios family when it came to Capcom's former business model of 80 to 90% of assets we put into sequels over new IPs, which admittedly was mostly 100%. But it also explains why Beautiful Joe had a ton of sequels, but none of the other games got one. I think if you look at Capcom's upcoming slate, actually the current slate, Mega Man 11's coming this year, Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, Monster Hunter World, MVC Infinite, Resident Evil 7, Dead Rising 4. These are all part of established brands, Umbrella Corps. So it makes sense seeing that. I don't see a lot of original franchises coming out from Capcom, and it's a shame, because and Resident Evil 2 remake, forgot about that. But yeah, like there's so many good IPs they've had, but they've shown in the last 20 years they can make new IPs that work really well. I mean, Dead Rising 1, that's the easiest example there. They have a ton of good IPs, but they've shown in the last 2 generations they can make IPs and ones that just sell like gangbuster. I don't get it, What do you guys think?
They could make new IPs, but that would take the E word. Effort.
I was going to say extra money.
Capcom's least favorite word, effort.
The only new IP I can remember from them was Remember Me, actually. That game... Yeah, 2013. Yeah, it's the last new IP I can remember from them.
But I still think that's pretty irresponsible of them. It's just like, you pour that much of your assets into sequels rather than at least thinking of a new IP. It's like they don't even think. They don't even think of the long run. They're just like, screw it, we gotta have more money. But no, shut up, you. More, damn it. You'll make more. What else? It was Konami Light, essentially.
Actually, I think Konami was at least a little bit better about making some new IPs every once in a while than fucking it up.
Yeah, but at least Capcom makes games and not Pachinko nowadays.
Yeah, fair point.
But the...
What do you think, Jojo?
I think, like you guys were saying about how Capcom mostly banks on its on sequels, the already planned, on already existing franchises, because I'm sure they made massive bank with Resident Evil 7 and Street Fighter 5 and stuff. but
I wouldn't say Street Fighter 5 at first, but yeah, Resident Evil 7 did really well last year.
Right, and Monster Hunter, we can't, because that game sold a bunch.
6 million fucking copies shipped out between
Jesus.
Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah, that is nuts. That makes me want to get it
really,
now.
It's good. It's a pain in the ass, but it's good.
Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why. I mean, I'm not saying this as a reason because I honestly don't know, but that was probably one of the reasons why they don't want to bring back, those old games, because at the time they were around, they were still relatively new, while Capcom's palette was mostly dominated by, at the time, Resident Evil and Devil May Cry and stuff.
Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, yeah.
Yeah, and if you're willing to wait a little bit, Street Fighter 4 when that game first came out.
Well, you could even say Street Fighter 3 a little bit too.
Yeah, that too, because that was
that sweet spot.
Yeah, that was that little sweet spot there. But yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why, because at that time those franchises were the main things making Capcom money, and even though as good of a game God Hand was, it really didn't make them as much money as they would have liked. I mean, I'm not even going to try and look at that with rose-tinted glasses. So, yeah I kind of understand a little bit, with the Clover trying to get into, because they kind of would not work under Capcom's, banner. It just sucks that when Clover Studios got dissolved and their staff went to Platinum, they couldn't have taken God Hand or Okami or Beautiful Joe with them. Those belong to Capcom now.
Yeah.
Grown.
All right, and for a very fast question here, what's your guys' favorite title from Platinum Games? For me, that one is relatively simple. I love the first Bayonetta so much, but I'm gonna say Metal Gear Rising. That game kicks so much fucking ass. It's one of those games that it's so fast paced, it's so frenetic that I haven't seen a game that's topped it in a long ass time. What do you think, Dragon? Inferno?
Love how the damn train passes by when this question pops up. It's just like honk honk. But that would have to be a very big gun sword clash between Bayonetta 2 and MGR. MGR has not a deep story, but it still has some pretty good writing. Armstrong. And really...
Nanomachine, son.
Damn it, I was going to use that joke, you piece of crap.
Don't fuck with this, Senator.
Hey, just your second joke.
Not to mention an awesome soundtrack. Just the mariachi outfit in general. And it's also goddamn fun to play. Bayonetta 2 improved on pretty much everything from the first game. Still has that great soundtrack and it's still fun to play. So, yeah, I'll still play both any day.
All right, Jojo?
My favorite Platinum games is probably a tie between Metal Gear Rising because of all the cool shit you can do in it. Like when I play it, I literally feel like I am riding as this badass cyborg ninja. And plus the jokes were fun, don't I played a lot of Ivy League football back in the day. There you go. See?
There we go. That's a different joke.
My other favorite one from back in the Wii days was Mad World, simply because it was fun. It was fun to do all the brutal executions to the bad guys in that game. Like you like impale them vertically on a pole and stuff, and that was a fun game to play. Like if you were having like just a really bad day at work or school and you just want to let out that anger, and Doom 2016 isn't out yet, so you got to do this or play Brutal Doom.
I get what you're saying. All right, so if you guys were trying to sell somebody on which Clover Studio game have the best gameplay, how would you market the premise to them, explaining your favorite Clover title from a gameplay perspective? This one, I can say it like this. You ever want to be a fucking superhero and just beat shit up, but also like rewind time if you fuck something up? Beautiful Joe. There you go. Fuck it. That's the best way I describe it. What about you, Inferno?
Have you artists ever wanted to attack people with your ink and brush? Well, have I got the game for you. Play as a godly wolf and attack people with brushes and paints. Be the Bob Ross.
All right, 10 out of 10 for that one. Jojo.
Okay, so this game, you play as a guy named Gene who has the power of the god in his arm, and he's forced to go up and beat up a bunch of demons and bad guys because some hot chick's chasing him with a hand axe. And as you go along, you beat up these bad guys. You get all these moves like a ball buster. You get something called the daisy cutter, and no, it has nothing to do with farting. And you do all this badass shit, and you get to see a nice dance number at the end of the game as your reward for finally beating up the great demon lord Angra. And you also get I already mentioned the ball busting. And in the sequel, we're gonna make one of the bosses a gigantic T-Rex, a giant metal T-Rex. Oh.
Jurassic Park turned to its extreme.
I could see them having a giant robot T-Rex as a boss in that game.
That would be pretty amazing. All right, to close this podcast out today, the idea of Clover Studios was to create a more obscure, risky company with new IPs that were in the same vein that normally wouldn't be done under Capcom's main brand. Do you believe they succeeded in their goal of making those games despite the company dissolving? And I have just one straight-up answer there. Yes. They succeeded in making 3 different IPs that all are very distinct, very original, very unique, and in all, impressive games. I don't have too much experience with God Hand, but my time with Okami and Beautiful Joe was amazing. And God Hand, having seen footage of it, Jesus fuck, that game's absurd. I love it. There's not been anything like that at Capcom since then, and it's such a fucking shame. What do you think, Inferno?
Yeah, they definitely, in a way, succeeded because those games, even in 2018, are still talked about. Like, you bring up Okami, people will go into a discussion. You bring up Beautiful Joe, people will definitely freaking go into a discussion. Hell, even bring up God Hand, which is one of the most polarizing of Clover's titles. People will talk about it. The fact that they have retained this long in terms of just well-known fame across the internet and just players in general, they definitely, despite dissolving, succeeded in that goal.
I'm with you there. What do you think, Jojo?
I think Clover Studios being part of Capcom in some ways was good in 2 ways, actually. In one way, because we got, the badass Beautiful Joe, God Hand, and Okami games, we got those. And another aspect was the people who worked on those games, they now also, not only are they known for making them, but their experience in making them allowed them to have tons of experience in making and experiencing unique action games, which also helped them when they went over to Platinum, because you can obviously some of that creativity and fun action gameplay in games like Bayonetta and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. All right, so this is basically the end of the podcast now. So everybody, we missed out on Drillbit entirely. Now that I think about it, he hasn't came back at all. Oh crap!
I forgot about him for a second.
I actually did too. Okay, yeah, he missed the entire thing. They may know Drillbit's Twitter.
Hang on, I think I might. Oh, Bren's got it in the chat.
Whichever one has the anime girl as the picture.
Okay, yeah. Go tweet at Drillbit saying, "Hey, you missed a podcast," and see what he responds to. I've been at Bane for You on Twitter with a YU. At Drillbit777. Please tweet him and say that 2B might be a decent waifu, but 9S is better, and that he missed a podcast.
Of course,
he's
his picture is Pyro. Why am I not surprised?
He's gonna kill me. All right, Inferno. Where can we find you at?
At Inferno Dragon 3D on Twitter and Inferno Dragon 343 on YouTube and Twitch.
Okay. Jojo, where can we find you at?
You can find me at The Lost Jojo, all one word, no underscores, on Twitter. And also, I'm on Twitch at the same name. And I'm also announcing that I'm doing the Borderlands 2 loot hunt community event in February 19th through the 25th. I'm going to be streaming that game to participate in that specific contest. So if you want to come, cheer me on, say hi, maybe squat up with me, and who knows, maybe we'll get a prize at the end of this contest.
Hey, you never know. And you can find Renegade at Ren Operative _. There we go. All right, this is gonna be the end of it. See you later. Have a fun night. Enjoy yourselves. If you want, go play Okami HD because it's on Steam. It's on Xbox One, PS4. Fucking play it.
Show Capcom where the money is.
Yes, and maybe we'll get another one.
By God hand on PlayStation Network, it's worth it. Trust me.
And if you don't have a PS3 or anything to play it with, then you can emulate it on your phone now. It's really that easy.
Just show them where the money is, damn it.